AI is making you dumber. Why? Because the more you use chatbots, the less you have to think. And that might sound interesting at first, but then remember that the less you have to think, the weaker your brain becomes. In this series, I'll explore 3 reasons why you need to reduce your chatbot usage. The first and most obvious reason is that it strengthens your brain. When you do work yourself, be it an assignment in school, a task at work, or maybe even research for a personal project, you put your brain to work. It's just like working out to build muscle. The more stress you put your muscles under, the larger they expand and the more athletic you look. The same applies to the brain, but unlike muscles in other parts of the body, we have no physical way of confirming that the brain is getting stronger. At least I can speak for myself. Jokes aside, multiple research studies have proven that students who do their homework themselves develop a stronger connection between their brain cells. It's also been proven that they develop a more faster and efficient way of thinking. Because the more you use your brain, the more it can store. The more it can store, the faster it can recall information. That growth of the brain and ability to recall information is the result of something called retrieval practice. In most countries, the school session is spread over a couple of months, maybe 4 to 6 months, depending on where you live. Across those 4 to 6 months, 2 things happen simultaneously. You're learning new things and you're forced to remember and articulate what you learned through classwork, homework, tests, and exams. The major purpose of spacing the academic calendar in this way is to strengthen your ability to recall information. Education is great, but as far as I'm concerned, the primary goal of formal education, beyond a certain point, is to strengthen your ability to remember things. Once upon a time, I used to think this goal of the education system was meaningless, but the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. Because think about it, people who lose their memory struggle to function, which means that our memory is central to our existence as human beings. Your ability to remember determines your grades in school, your performance at work, the quality of your relationships, your performance as a romantic partner, your performance as a parent, and your overall quality of life as a human being. This list should give you a deeper understanding of what is at stake if you become too dependent on a chatbot. It's disastrous to say the least because when you depend on a chatbot to complete an entire task, your brain doesn't go through the same rigorous process as it should, and so it struggles to store that information as deeply as it otherwise would. So what should you do? Be intentional. I understand that abandoning chatbots entirely is easier said than done, but if you want to maintain your mental strength, your intellectual astuteness, then you need to be intentional about how you get stuff done. Focus on reducing instead of eliminating your chatbot usage. Practice spacing. This could look like picking specific days of the week when you either won't use a chatbot at all or you'll use it at the barest minimum. On those days, whatever research you need to do, or tasks or assignments, whatever activity it is, you'll figure it out yourself using analog methods. Figuring it out yourself forces your brain to develop a process for getting it done. It also forces your brain to recall any information that could be useful to the task at hand. Try to apply this reduced usage to different situations. Don't restrict it to your job alone. Apply it to things like cooking. Try to figure out what ingredients will produce a good result all on your own. Apply it to your interactions. Figure out what to say next without depending on the advice of a chatbot. All in all, apply this chatbot detox to different situations. The tips in this video will keep you far away from the destructive consequences of an addiction to chatbots. Let's meet again in the next video.